Welcome back to Après STEEP. This week I will be joined by a very special guest. He wears a leather cowboy hat and oftentimes carries a whip, not to mention a very snazzy satchel. No, I am not talking about Indiana Jones. Instead, we are going to be talking with Indiana Mitch about his recent discovery of the Riders Republic map. That'll be coming up in the main topic. Stay tuned. This is Après STEEP, episode 14.
We finally learned the winners of the last Check My Steez event. Nate Hotshot took away the victory with P-Dub as the runner-up. They are taking a small break from Check My Steez as there's lots going on in the Steep community right now, but there may be some more events in Steep. Definitely some events once Riders Republic is in our hands. Be sure to stay up to date on all their happenings in the Check My Steez Discord.
Over in Shred This Spot, event number 5 is just about closed. It's taking place at Koizumi in Japan, and those runs are due tomorrow. So be sure to head over to the House of Shred Discord to get your videos in. We cannot wait to see another wonderful video created by Just Steep It.
And in Tartiflet Games news, the slopestyle competition is planned to go down this Saturday, April 3rd. Yes, both the qualifiers and the finals back to back. We'll have a time announcement for that soon. Real Steep submissions are open and will be closing on April 11th at midnight, so make sure to get those edits in. And on the same day, April 11th, we'll have info about the TFG Backcountry Brawl.
You remind me of a man.
What man?
The man with the power.
What power?
The power of voodoo.
Hoodoo?
You do.
Do what?
Remind me of a man.
Oh, Bone Crusher 2D. Yeah, he's cool, I guess, and really good at the game. Go check him out.
I don't think a week goes by that you do not surprise me with something just ridiculous, and this is no exception. I'll talk a little bit about how I learned about this after I let you take the spotlight, but you came up with a masterpiece. It looks like you might have a very rough idea of what this map is going to look like in Riders Republic.
Yeah, it turns out a lot of this was in front of our faces for the past couple of months, and it took a while to get it all together. Gotta give credit to our friend Boogie. He was the one who pointed out the picture in, not the game preview trailer, the other one, the cinematic reveal, that first minute 30 trailer, where you see the guy just sitting in the booth where he's staring at all the riders who ride down, and in the background behind him there's something that looks to be a map of the terrain. Now, there were a couple other moments in the game preview trailer where they zoomed out and you could see a bit of a 2D map that was more of a computer drawing that had the locations in the game. And then CohenTG on Reddit actually took all of those scenes from the trailer and stitched them together in one map, which gave us a small area, looked to be like the top half. So I put all of that together in a video. If you want to see how we came up with our final map, you can go watch that. But it laid out 4 different locations that overlaid perfectly with that map we saw in the cinematic trailer. We could see Yosemite Valley, Mammoth Mountain, Bryce Canyon, and Zion, which are 4 of the 7 locations listed.
So now I see on the map here that you have 2 separate spots that say Sequoia Park, and that is of course referring to Sequoia National Park. Do you have any, now that this has been out there, now that it's been breathing, have you heard any other conspiracies from the community? Have you done any more investigation? Do you think you know where Sequoia is going to be?
Yeah, if you watch you've watched it, so if one of you listening hasn't watched that full map revealed exclamation point video we did, the big conspiracy, they had, the 4 locations that aren't confirmed by Ubisoft, but when you lay all of the images they kind of gave to us in different trailers, pretty sure we know those 4. But just knowing these locations in real life Grand Teton is usually a very snowy mountain peak, and I don't think that's going to be in the bottom left between Zion and Canyonlands and Bryce Canyon, so that's probably up with Yosemite Valley in that top right area. Canyonlands, of course, is the only location out of those three that remain that is a desert, so that has to be in the bottom right. I'm going to go with that. And you can see, actually, looks to be a river winding through right next to his shoulder, which is probably the Colorado River, which goes through the Canyonlands and formed it. So that's kind of the telltale sign for me. Sequoia Park, I would put it over on that right side because it's kind of more big and open anyways. And Sequoia is a mix of trees and snow and dirt, so you can see a lot of that blending kind of towards the bottom right of that Sequoia area.
Yeah, I know I've said it before, but I'm really interested to see how they combine all of these different elements, Canyonlands. And we're just basing all of this off of what we've seen in the trailers and what you can look up online. A lot of these places, if not all of these places, right, are based off of actual locations in the U.S.
Yeah, it's all U.S. national parks, and with the map that was in the game preview, the one that's overlaid in this picture, there are a lot of those famous locations or formations at those national parks listed. You can see Mammoth Rock, Half Dome, iconic in Yosemite Valley. Half Dome sitting right there and looks to be full size. And then you got Little Yosemite, the Narrows, the Great White Throne. Those are all real places that are in this game. And in the dev blog, they mentioned that they wanted to do a 1-to-1 recreation of certain areas. So I wouldn't expect the entirety of Mammoth Mountain, but the areas that they use from Mammoth Mountain are going to be pretty close to the, general elevation and all of that. It's going to be really interesting to see how they mix these together, because we are talking about Snowy Mammoth right up next to Bryce Canyon. That's going to be a tough line to draw and, going to be a challenge for the devs to make those flow right together. But if they pull all of this off in one map you can ride, it's going to look incredible.
Right. That's exactly what I was saying earlier, is just, and I know I've said it in multiple podcasts up until now, but I cannot wait to see what the transition zone looks like. Is it just going to be a firm line of snow? You're going to have maybe 10 feet of mud, and then it's, the next thing, it's going to be desert or woodlands. I just don't know. I can't picture how those transitions are going to work. But, you look at the top of this map, and it does make sense that they're going to have the colder stuff up north and the warmer stuff down south. That just feels good to my brain right now. But it does look like that there may be more desert and, warmer climate than snow. So I think they might be pushing the other sports a little more, but still giving us enough for ski and snowboard. I'm not sure.
It all depends on how well they use the mountains that they have, like Mammoth, and we don't know how big Grand Teton is. That could go way further out of this picture, or it could be pretty close to that limit and it's just a small section. But if it is a lot more north, I would expect they have the north face of that mountain in Yosemite, because El Cap's up there and that's iconic too. So if that's there, then there is going to be a bit more to the north of all of this image and could add a little bit more snow. But you are right, if it is all desert and forest like this, they could be pushing the bike path a little bit more. But at the same time in the trailer, we saw people skiing and snowboarding over some grass. So who knows, maybe you can just ride those through Bryce Canyon, even though there's no snow whatsoever. Maybe you'll just be able to shred some snowboards.
Only time will tell, but I mean, dude, congratulations. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to put this thing together. It really gives everyone, especially myself, just a better idea of what to expect. Even if we are completely off, even if this thing is flipped upside down, sideways, whatever, this is giving me a little more to go off of, and it's letting me kind of map out where we can go and where everything's going to be and what we can do. So this is just, physical hands-on. We're able to finally see something that might be close, but again, we cannot emphasize it enough. We have no clue. Mitch put this together and he called me at like 1:30 in the morning one night. I was already in bed and he calls me at 1:30 and he's like, "Are you doing anything?" I said, "Well, yes, I'm sleeping." He goes, "I think I solved the case." what are you talking about? And he proceeded to go on a 20-minute rant about how he combined all of these images together and he came up with the perfect map render. But dude, you just went off. You sounded like a mad scientist.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things where a couple of us were talking and said, hey, does this image, would the other ones overlay onto it? Just, they posed it out theoretically, so I whipped up Photoshop, had to, change the sizes and change a little bit of the perspective, but it started to come together pretty quick, and when I got that first image, the one just of Yosemite Valley overlaid, I was like, okay, that fits pretty well. I think I got the size right, but it's hard to tell. And then when I took Cohen TG's picture that's bigger and overlaid that, and it lined up with the smaller picture and with that giant map behind John, I was like, that might be what's going to be in the game. Like, this might actually be true. So we don't know the rest of it, but only time will tell.
Well, dude, this investigation was just incredible, and I know the community was buzzing when this came out, and everyone has been talking about it. So, of course, we would love to hear you guys either in Discord or down in the comments. Let us know if you think this kind of looks accurate. Let us know if we missed anything. If Mitch has to go back and remap this and come up with a different model because, hey, maybe we missed something. I really don't think he did, and I do not want to insult you because this is just A+ work, but, there could always be something else.
Yes, sir. When the dev blogs don't come out regularly, we start to hypothesize and conspiracize and go a little bit crazy.
Yep, it's fine. It's fine. We're fine. It's all good. We'll talk about the landscape of the United States. This week's weekly challenge took place on Denali.
It did, and we are continuing our tour across STEEP, perhaps our final tour, by taking pictures on all of the different mountains that they brought us. So Nick, which is your favorite out of this Denali? I know it's a little bit smaller, not as many submissions, but they're all quality.
Well, yeah, this is a much smaller pool. Thank you so much to Sofex and Flare, the only two people who submitted besides yourself, Mitch. This week, I am going to have to go with the black and white illustration by Sofex. I know for a fact that this was a picture taken in the game, but Sofex has a wonderful hand at taking these pictures and making them look like organic works of art. This one looks like it could be watercolors. It also looks like it could be charcoal, also looks like pencil. I don't know what it is. I know that it was digitally edited and it's just fantastic. This one just looks like straight out of a sketchbook. Someone was up on the mountain, their buddy was going to a summit, and they decided to do a quick sketch before they headed down themselves.
And I'm going to pick my favorite picture from Flare. This one, he forgot to submit on time, but I saw him post it in the Discord the other day after I posted the video, and I wanted to give it the credit it deserves because it's beautiful too. It almost looks like a real life photo that he's messed with, but again, you can kind of tell it's in the game with some of the details, but he applied that almost like a vintage camera filter over top of it where you got the burnt orange on the edges, those little arrows and timestamps creeping through, off focus around the edges, but then he has the Denali and that matching orange in the top right. So just another stunning photo of the mountain.
Well, thank you as always to everyone who submitted, all two of you. Two wonderful artists in the world of STEEP, Sofex and Flare. It doesn't get much better than them. So well done to both of you. Cannot wait to see what you guys put together for next week's challenge, which is
Sapporo in Japan.
Thank you. Take as many pictures as you would like. We cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. No rules except it must be on that mountain.
Continuing with the Riders Roundup, one of the pieces we want to shout out is the Spotify playlist put together by Operator Marcel called A Day at the Snow Park. This playlist is great if you're looking to get hyped up when you're hitting the slopes, or if you're playing steep. We've got bands like Foster the People, Alt J, Beck, The Weeknd, and much more. So if you're looking for some new music to vibe out to, check out the link down below.
Yeah, man, if you're like me, a new playlist is always welcome in my Spotify queue. Operator Marcel, I will be bumping this week, and hopefully I'll have a review for you sometime in the near future. Moving over to X Games, the world of X Games has debuted Real Snow 2021. That full broadcast can be viewed on their YouTube channel, so make sure you go and watch that if you haven't already. Don't worry, there will be no spoilers on this podcast, but be careful because they do have the top 3 videos posted separately. So bronze, silver, gold are all separate videos, and you see the name in the thumbnails. So if you go directly to their YouTube channel, you might get the spoilers there. So don't say that we didn't warn you.
And this isn't too much of a spoiler, but one thing I noticed when I watched this year is a lot of the videos aren't as urban as they used to be. I know when we did our real ski and real snow competitions, we stressed having man-made features in every trick, something not natural, but these guys are hitting it off of some rocks and natural bumps in the hills. So who knows, our next competitions might be just an all-out free-for-all anywhere on the mountain.
Yeah, it gives the riders more creative abilities. You know, they don't have to just be in an urban area. They can do literally whatever they want and tell whatever kind of story they want to tell. So yeah, I think moving forward, we might need to tweak how we run our real events, because I really enjoyed the vibe that this one had.
And that's going to do it for this episode, because we are full steam ahead to film our slopestyle videos for this weekend on Saturday. Make sure to follow us in all the different locations. Subscribe here on YouTube. Head into our Discord server to chat. We have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have a link tree. We have it all.
There is literally zero excuse to not be a friend.
We need more friends.
Well, I think you grabbed it all. Be sure to keep on working on your Real Steep submissions. Those are going to be due on April 11th. So there's still some more time to tweak those and get them picture perfect.
And one last thing before you go, special thanks to our members, our executive producer, Bone Crusher 2D, our co-producers, It's the Mort and my mom, and our fans and Fans Plus. If you guys love us enough, you can hit join down below to get some special perks on the channel.
Thanks for hanging around. We'll talk to you next week. I'm Nick.
And I'm Mitch.
And we'll see yins on the slopes.